These new skins and ships in the recent event I think represent a trend right now of AL's character releases lately. This isn't anything major for her to the game as core, but it is something I have noticed. First, I'll talk about the ship goals themselves. Azur. Azur is fine as far as Amber Goliaths go. Not bad, but there's a dozen others to choose from within the same faction. Next up is U31. Just kidding, this is Archfish I'm showing. This is U31. Jokes aside, she's alright. Though again, there are other U-boats that I prefer. Plus, Archfish. It's hard to give a correct assumption regarding Z47 at this time, as I feel she is one of those girls that will change dramatically at higher affinity levels. Right now, I think she's alright. I'm not hyper-fixated on the Gen Z/Alpha mannerisms because let's be real, everyone remembers a particular time period of memes and slang they would obsess over. Z43 is the third Chinubio type destroyer in Ironblood, so this trope is already quite old. She's made my favourite of the event through design alone, and that's mostly it. Next, I'll actually talk about the event itself. If you remember Frostfall from last year, you'll likely be very familiar. Story and operation stages are split, so if you want, you don't have to interact with the story at all. In the operation stages, you can composite up to 5 fleets to tackle one stage that has multiple phases, one phase per fleet. If you want to waste submarine affinity, this is one of the best events to do so. This game has never been a trailblazer in terms of story, and this event's one is no different. It's a silly little side story primarily featuring little ships liberating a preschool academy. It's not meant to be a serious story, which honestly, I think suits Angela's card stays better than the major serious plot-heavy events. Okay, the skins. These are probably some of the most divisive of the year, though I do think some of the hate is overblown. For the most part. I've only bought one skin for myself, Z43's A Secret Base for 2. I don't know what she has been eating for that physique, though one of my commenters said it might be corn. What do you think? On to the rentable skins, starting with Illustriouses. It's the usual not enough for R18 affair. I probably can't show a whole lot without being demonetized, yes I have to worry about that now. So at the same time of this video, a separate Live GT guide for Illustrious will be released. Moving swiftly on. Now, Alpha's skin is extremely relatable as the UK suffered an uncomfortable heatwave this week and I can barely work without a fan right next to me. The difference is, none of our homes have air conditioning. Anyway, I'm not too keen on the skin, mainly because the outfit she wears is obviously too small for her. It didn't factor in her bust size when picking what to wear. She is also wearing glasses, but since they're rimless, they can be very tricky to spot unless you zoom right in. Professional pen spinner Duke of York is up next. It obviously wants to parallel her default in terms of aesthetic, which is fine. It manages to do that while remaining clearly separate. I'm just personally not a fan. As for the remaining skins, yes, these are preschool themed skins. I'm not going to say that these were a good or bad idea to do on paper, but it has illustrated a trend I've seen with new characters and skins. The lack of middle ground between the two extremes. We've mostly had either absolutely tiny content or the biggest possibly imaginable. This event makes it brazen with the setting. I feel there's a reason why they are doing this though. It can be easy to gauge what people on either end of the spectrum would want. Those to the left go crazy for bratty and smug characters that tease them at every turn, i.e. U31. Those to the right want the absolute thickest adults possible that are reasonably large in every aspect with a doting nature, i.e. Alpha tier. It's comparatively harder to define what people in the quote-unquote middle would want. What would you even define as the middle? What would be the preferred design or personality type? The waters are far murkier and there's no guarantee that a character designed to slot in the middle would do well as specialised ship girls. And besides, if Agilent doesn't give you that fix, go and try out other games. That's all I have to say. Enjoy the event.